Ch18 Lesson 3. This lesson is called The South During Reconstruction. If we take a quick look, we'll see that our objective after the lesson is to complete the quiz, scoring 60% or better. And our central question for today is, how were African Americans discouraged from participating in civic life in the South? So how was it worked upon to exclude them from their new rights, basically? Let's take a look at our intro page. So today's lesson is about, well, life in the South, and it's a bit all over the place. You'll see what I mean by taking a look at this nifty outline of the lesson I've created. Lesson 3. African Americans can vote and run for office. Yay, that's good. White Southerners don't like black people, or anyone from the North, and they call them mean names. Boo. The Ku Klux Klan, KKK, terrorizes Northerners and African Americans in the South. Boo. But we have schools in the South now, so that's good. Yay. But also, sharecropping sucks. Forcing freedmen into conditions not much better than slavery. Boo. So we're a little all over the place, but progress is being made. Let's learn about it in detail on the very next page. Okay, so during the height of Reconstruction, African Americans were quite a political force, as they are today. They voted and ran for office. It was the black vote that propelled Republicans to take control of the country and push the radical Republican agenda. For a short time, African Americans even held the majority in the lower chamber of South Carolina. The state of South Carolina's their government, not federal government, but like the House of the state Carolina State Legislature. Although in the grand scheme of things, they didn't hold too much power, African Americans did win a number of seats at the federal level. So the federal House of Representatives between 1869 and 1880 had 16 members that were African American, and 2 African Americans were even voted into the Senate. It's pretty cool, making federal progress here. Mean names. Where we are. Mean names. All right, as you may well imagine, a good deal of the South was not happy with how things were going. Their slaves were now voting, Republicans were running the show, and those pesky Northerners were moving into the South. The ex-Confederates had some names for folks they didn't like. For example, any Southerner that supported Republican or otherwise pro-Union folk were referred to as scalawags, which is a silly name meaning scoundrel, worthless rascal, or scruffy-looking nerf herder. Alright, I actually added the scruffy-looking part. A little Star Wars joke for you. But you get my drift. It was not a nice thing to say. There were another group of folks the ex-Confederates didn't like. There were some Northerners that had moved south during Reconstruction. Many were teachers and business folk just looking to help rebuild the South, but some had some nefarious intentions. Northern folk that moved south were eyed with suspicion and referred to as carpetbaggers, named so because the cheap luggage of the time was made of carpet, literally a bag of carpet. Now, anytime there's hardship or suffering or an opportunity to make a buck off someone down on their luck, there will be some carpetbaggers to fortune off of their misery. This proves true even today, and you still hear the word carpetbagger. For example, let's say Mr. Yun sells bottled water. And now I hear there's no water in a place like, say, Flint, Michigan. So I moved to Flint, Michigan and sell my bottled water marked up at 200%. That would make me a carpetbagger. Get it? That's what a carpetbagger it is. Now, another problem in the South was corruption. Corruption is illegal or dishonest actions. They say absolute power corrupts absolutely. You had the strong Republican majorities throughout the country, so it's not unbelievable to think that some of them would try pulling some shady business to make some money. There's no proof, however, historically, that the corruption during Reconstruction was any worse than corruption really at any time in U.S. history. It's kind of always there, lingering. So was it worse than normal during the Reconstruction era? That's up for debate. Now let's talk about resistance to Reconstruction. Now all these folks dropping mean names like scalawag and carpetbagger, they were into more than just name calling. You had organizations pop up like the Ku Klux Klan, the KKK, who took violent measures to scare, hurt, or even kill African Americans and people that supported them. You also had folks pulling moves like refusing to give blacks store credit or rent or sell them land. Congress tried passing laws to curb things like clan violence, but these were mostly ineffective. Let's bump on to education and farming. Directly following the Civil War, African Americans began to build their own schools. During the 1870s, state government started building schools in the South for both blacks and whites. Not many were integrated, as in mixed with both, with most being either or, either at a white school or a black school, for the most part. Now, many African Americans wanted to own land and farm to support their families, but it could be hard if no one would want to sell land to a black man. But some African Americans did purchase land with the help of the Freedmen's Bank and the Freedmen's Bureau. Many of the freed slaves had to do what's called sharecropping. Sharecropping is basically working someone else's land and then giving them a portion of the crops. Oftentimes, the landowners wanted too much of the crop, however, leaving very little for the sharecropper. Many freedmen that were sharecroppers found themselves in conditions not much better off than their slaves. So not good. Not a good situation. That's all for today. We'll pick it up our studies again tomorrow. For today, as I mentioned, you have a simple quiz chilling right here. 10 points, 2 attempts, maybe 3, depending on what class you're in. That's it for today. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, have a good one, and I'll see you tomorrow.